coming off a huge weekend. You mentioned it earlier as far as when we were listening to the game where we were actually in the middle of reality of wrestling, baby. First reality of wrestling of the year, and I tell you, I couldn't have asked for a better night because we had a sold out triple sellout. Roxanne Perez versus Mia Friday in the main event, and I must say they went out there and made me proud. Made me proud. Roxanne Perez came back home for the first time in quite some time, as well as Mason D. Madden made his return to reality wrestling after quite some time. I want to thank those guys for selling the house out, man. Selling the house out because that's what it's all about. But we had a lot of talent on the card that I must say, man, went out there and rocked it. Did me proud as well. Made the Road Nation come alive. And I tell you, the way the arena is set up, I don't know, man. The decibel level, man, it gets so loud in that place, man. At certain times, and watching the fans go out there and totally make it special. What I noticed a lot of on Saturday night with the guys was the fans actually were chanting their name. I don't know if you noticed that.
I heard that, yeah.
A lot of the guys, the fans, and I was like, wow, that's what. And then they got the "This is awesome" chant too, along with it. And I always say, man, you got to get both. You know, if you really doing work, you know, as a baby face, as a heel, and that's one of the matches that we got that right there too. Eli Knight and Danny Limelight, man, those guys went out there. I mean, professionals. Anybody watch that match? Anywhere in the world, they're gonna say, "Man, these guys could go." They're not gonna say, "Man, these are the greatest guys I've ever seen." They're not gonna say, "Man, this is the most amazing, talent, that we've ever seen." But what they're gonna say is, "Man, these guys are good." And when you get somebody to say that in this business, you're on the right track. I tell you, Eli Knight is a amazing talent. Extraordinary talent, but you need a dance partner in this business to really be able to go out there and shine. And those two guys, Danny Limelight versus Eli Knight, the night versus the light, came to fruition on Saturday night. Oh yeah, man! And it was an awesome night. Man, what you think, Brad? What you think?
I was right there with you. I was so happy with everything that went on Saturday night. And again, we were short some crew members. There were some key people. Were still there trying to help us out. Some people not there in the presence, but we all came together to make sure that show went off without a hitch. Got to give a big shout out to the Queen and Kevin Bernhardt also, and the whole staff, man, for really stepping it up. Want to give a big shout out to young Brody. Young Brody runs our sound and music cues, and he was Johnny on the spot on Saturday night. Couldn't have done it without him. Chris Russo, Kirby Carry-On. But also, the talent was off the charts. You're right. This is how I knew it was going to be a good night. It was the first night of 2024, but it was also the first night in the newly minted Walker Texas Lawyer Arena. And as the announcement was being made, and Walker Texas Lawyer was walking out to the crowd, there was a Walker chant in the arena. And I'm like, oh, the fans are ready to play. Walker's getting a huge pop. I know that the talent, the boys and girls are going to do it. And the other talent, you mentioned Danny Limelight and Eli, which was great. Ryan Davidson and Max Castellanos had a fantastic match. A lot of good matches on the card, but you would be remiss to not talk about Roxanne Perez and Mia Friday. Did so well. And Mia Friday is going to be the next one, along with the Promise Braxtons and the Gigi Rays from Reality Wrestling, that you're going to need to look out for. And then Will All Day and Mason D. Madden and everything, man. I had such a fun time on Saturday.
You know what I like? The match I like is my young kids that you actually gave them a name that I used to have as a break dancer back in the day, the remote controls versus Fly Death. Zach Mason and Warren G. And I tell you, man, Warren J. My bad.
Warren J.
Yeah, and man, those kids went out there. It reminded me of each other in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Because Ryan and Zach. I mean, Zach and Warren. And Warren. Those guys started with reality wrestling, and Zach came to like fantasy camp as a kid, like 16 years old or something like that. And then now I see the remote controls going out there doing their thing. It's like, man, it's like, mirror images. And such a good match with so much young talent in the ring. That's what impressed me more than anything, how professional they work at this stage in the game. So I just want to give my guys big ups, man. Big props for going out there and representing Chandler Hopkins. He represented Texas against Rudy Garza as well. So guys, if you're anywhere in the surrounding area, Texas City on Fight Night, come check us out. 9300 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena. Guys, you have a damn good time. I promise you that.